Everyone is in debt and nobody is immune to it. Do you want proof? Let's go over the stats. The average American has about $105,000 of debt, including mortgage debt, auto loans, credit cards, personal loans, things like this. $105,000. In general, America is $17.5 trillion in debt. We are just drowning in debt. Experian, the Credit Card Reporting Bureau, has stated that the average American pays $1,237 per month in just paying back loans. The US is mired in debt in all its forms: student loan debt, credit card payments, auto loans, home loans, HELOCs. The list goes on and on. When does it stop? And at this point, delinquencies are rising as well. People just can't afford to pay their bills. People are skipping out and just waiting to see what happens. It is indeed a very, very scary time. And in terms of mortgage debt, millennials take the prize. Millennials have the highest mortgage debt at over $300,000 per person. Now, every time I try to talk about debt, people always comment saying, but due to hyperinflation, the debt over time becomes less as the future goes on. That is in a way true, where inflation can actually decrease the value of the dollar over time, right? Meaning that it decreases your debt burden over time. For example, a $2,000 debt 20 years from now is not the same as a $2,000 debt right this moment. In a way, that is true, and that kind of dissuades people from paying off their debts because they just are counting on hyperinflation to wipe away their debt. If you want to go that way, more power to you. You'll always have this problem, however, that you're in this perpetual hamster wheel. You cannot invest in hard assets like, for example, real estate, gold and silver, and possibly even Bitcoin at this point, because if you always have that strategy that you're just not going to pay off any debt and you're always going to have debt, then you'll always be paying your debt. And then you can never invest in any hard assets, which will go up in value over time. As the inflation increases, fixed hard assets like gold, silver, real estate, those tend to go up in inflationary times. And if you don't have the money to purchase those things, that is one argument against paying your debt. But let me know how it goes. I have a feeling it's not going to end well for you. And as a rule of thumb, people should not use more than 28% of their gross income towards debt payments. But nowadays, the numbers are completely skewed. 45 to 55% of people's take-home pay is going towards debt service. Credit cards, car notes, personal loans, all these things. The culture of debt in America is absolutely insane. And when you're paying off that much debt every single month, that leaves you no breathing room. That leaves you no wiggle room for future expenses, for saving your money, for major home repairs, for investing your money, for any medical emergencies that you may have. You guys, debt is going out of control. This will break our backs at some point or another. And with the current high interest rates, that makes the situation even worse, with credit card rates being about 22 to 28%. Personal loans are about 12 to 17%. Auto loan interest rates are about 8 to 14%. And mortgages are roughly about 6 to 8% at this point. You'll be paying interest for the rest of your life, not even touching the principal on some of these loans. And we have the additional problem of wages not keeping up with the cost of living these days. You know, rent is up anywhere between 35 to 55% from just 5 years ago during the pandemic. The cost of food, insurance has spiked and gone through the roof. Childcare, healthcare, all these expenses are racking up. And there has been the rise, of course, of the buy now, pay later system with things like Klarna, PayPal's Pay in 4, Afterpay, things like this. And those companies do not report their debts to the credit bureaus. So the debt is actually much worse than what is reported. 41% of millennials report using these buy now, pay later apps. And a lot of them have already been late on at least one of their payments, therefore incurring penalties and possibly even interest on those micro loans. So as I said in the beginning of this video, the average debt that the American has is $105,000. So if you have less than $105,000, I guess, give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, I would feel good a little bit. At the same time, that I would feel sad because it's an incredible situation where, let's say you only have $50,000 in debt. Well, that's better than average. You know, that's better. You're doing better than average Joe. I mean, it's a truly incredible time that we're living in, where debt, living well beyond your means, people just going way overboard, not being able to live within their means, not being able to control their spending and control their habits and control their lifestyle, and basically curb their addiction towards buying things and living a life that simply cannot be sustained. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Do not go into more debt than you need. Do not buy unnecessary items. Pay in full your credit card every month so that you do not incur that 22% interest rate. That is absolutely insane, you guys. Please don't do that. If you have $1,000 on your credit card and you don't pay that off, that'll blow up and explode into $2,000 before you know it. Control yourself. Be disciplined. It has become a part of daily life now, where debt is a part of life. Making payments on things that you've purchased months and even years ago. This is the new normal that we're living in. There are so many stories of senior citizens, people who are 70, 75 years old, who are completely mired in debt and have no way to work because simply they are too old. They are the victims of ageism, and companies do not want to hire older folks. At this point, what can you do? Seek government help, seek subsidies, seek financial programs. I mean, there's no easy way out at this point. There's no easy solutions. Please, you guys, do not become a future statistic. If you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, now is the time to take charge of your own personal finances. Get yourself out of debt. That is the first step. Start increasing your monthly debt payments. Pay things off. Pay in full. You'll breathe easier. You'll sleep better. Stay humble. Stay low-key. Alright, this is Alex from Low Key Millionaire. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.